I made a move without a sound. If you never heard about me, then you finna know me now. And believe it's going down. And believe it's going down. I made a move without a sound. Use these lyrics as my weapons. I'ma spit a couple rounds. I may never know what $1 million brings, but I keep waking up to these $1 million dreams.
Yo, man, check it out, check it out. Bring it on in, family. Bring it on in, fam. KG for Top Prize Podcast, man. And this segment that I'm bringing today is one of my favorite ones because it allows you to, you know, get a little bit vulnerable, be able to get some things off your chest, whether it's trauma or, something that's really bothering you, like this bug that you just have on your chest that you really just want to get off, and you want to be able to get it off without nobody judging you, And this is one of the segments that I love the most. I call it a song on your heart. I have a couple people that's already future scheduled to come on to, let me know what's on their heart. To really let me know what's on their heart. But I can't bring nobody onto this segment without first sharing what I have going on my heart. It's not fair for me to bring somebody else in and for them to tell me their trauma and I haven't done it. So I'm going to be the first person to open up this segment of Song on Your Heart. And today's start off with me. I have a 3-year old. His name is Zaire Green, and he's autistic. And he was just diagnosed with the autism label just a couple months, well, a few months ago. Um, but I've seen it, like I've seen something off with my son for almost 2 years of his life so far, and it's been tough. It's been very tough. It's been very tough, and you know, I won't say I got into it. I went back and forth with a person over a daycare, and because my son, unfortunately, with his level of understanding at this point, a lot of daycares are not equipped to handle him. And I like to be honest with a lot of the coordinators of these daycares. And I was just upfront and I was like, look, my son suffered from autism. And before I could even finish anything, she tried call herself trying to snap on me, and I'm like, "Whoa, hold up, hold up." I understand I probably should have chose my words a little wisely, but the definition of suffering is what I'm seeing. So I'm like, "Look, check it out. My son cannot communicate. He can't communicate with me. He can't communicate with a lot of his peers. He hasn't been able to communicate with none of the daycares that he went through. So us not understanding him and knowing what he wants, he gets aggressive because he's frustrated. And I'm frustrated because I don't understand what he's saying and what he wants because he's nonverbal. So with him being frustrated, he gets aggressive. He's either going to pull on you, he's going to try to fight you, or he's just going to sit there and scream and yell until you get up and figure out what is it that he wants. So that right there is a very frustrating thing because, like I said, I don't understand what is it that he really wants. So now I'm just running around here trying to figure out, do you want this? No. 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 And it's like, ah, like, I'm closer to 40. I don't have the energy. And I know for a fact I do not have the patience at this particular point in time. So it's like going through that, it's just like on an everyday basis, the devil behind me just be like, hey, bro, just, just, just exit stage left. Just exit stage left. But the person I am, understand that God give his biggest battles to his strongest warriors. And I know I'm one of his strongest warriors. So he's putting my son with this, I don't want to call it a disability, even though it is a disability, with this level of understanding in my care. And there's nothing in this world that's going to make me want to walk away from my responsibility and my duty to my son and the promise that I've made to our God Almighty. But is it frustrating? My God. Frustrating is not even the word. It's not even the word. Sometimes, man, I just feel like I just be want to break down half the time. I'll just be like, this can't be my life. But he's such a ball of energy. He's just a ball of energy. He smiles at you all the time. Is he bad? Hell yeah, that little motherfucker. I love him to death. That little motherfucker bad. Bad as hell. But I don't I don't deem it as bad. I deem it as misunderstood because he's not understanding what you're saying to him. Well, he understands certain things, but when a child of that level of understanding mind is always on go mode, it's kind of hard to reel them back in. Well, especially with a person like me who has almost little to no patience and energy level is just not where it used to be. Now, if he would have caught me when I was in my 20s, oh, we would have been good, rocking and rolling. But catching me on the later stages right now, going into the fourth quarter of my life, that energy level is just not where it's just not where it's just not where it should be. It's just not where it should be. And let me show y'all, man. This is my little dude right here, man. Because of copyright issues, I've had a few videos blocked, so there will be no sound for this particular clip. There will be no sound. As you can see, he's a ball of energy. You can see him jumping off stuff. You can see him climbing, and all of them are couches, running. Like he loves to run. Like that's my little dude right there. That is my dude. So that's my dude. That's my dude. But how did we get to this point? How did we get to this point? My oldest son, I'm pretty sure something ain't right with him. Something ain't right with him. It's his level of understanding is not understanding neither. But it's like his progressions wasn't of a alarming progression in my point until like after COVID. And dealing with him after COVID, it's my oldest son, which is Kendrick Jr. Dealing with him, I started to see a lot of things that made me start to question. I wish I would have been able to got him, screened a lot earlier so I could know how to pretty much help him the best way I can. But when my youngest son came, I started to see a lot of those things earlier on. But to be perfectly honest, Zaire was more progressive than my other two children. He was more progressive. He started walking I want to say like almost 2 months before his birthday. He was eating pretty much anything. Like he was like a little baby garbage disposal before he was 1 years old. He ate everything. I'm talking about not even 1 years old, and he could eat the chicken to the gristle. Goddamn it, all the meat off the damn bone. He'd chew the bone too. He's a baby that ate black licorice, and if you touched his licorice, oh, he was going to have a fit, and that's crazy. Like he ate anything, oatmeal. He tried new things. You could feed him. He was good. He was straight. He was talking. He was saying words going into year one of his life. Um, he was saying a lot of words. And then I got him vaccinated for his first year birthday. He had vaccinations. After I got him vaccinated, it was like a instant. All that shit just stopped. He stopped talking. He stopped eating. He reverted back to crawling. So we had to get him back to walking again. He wouldn't eat nothing. You try to feed him, he'll scream, he'll yell, he'll slap the food out of your hand, the stuff that he was eating with no problem, with no issue. He wasn't doing it anymore. He's not talking. He stopped doing all of that. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, man, what the hell? Now it's like trying to figure out what is it that he want. Now we reverting back to formula and milk, all the stuff that he was doing when he was between birth and 6 or 7 months. It's like we had to start all the way over. We had to start all the way over. And I'm not thinking that there's something like extremely wrong or alarming. I'm just thinking like, okay, maybe his taste buds is switching up, or maybe he he's going through a different stage. Just not really thinking like this is something alarming until close to the end of last year when we decided we want to put him in daycare. When we decided to put him in daycare, that's when we start. That's when we start seeing everything, like really everything. Um, you have kids that that like that's little bit aggressive. That plays a little aggressively, and he's not really talking or anything like that. A lot of these daycares are not equipped to handle children of that magnitude. But we just felt like maybe he's a home baby. You know, we didn't take him out nowhere. We didn't allow too many people to watch him and stuff like that. So we just felt like maybe he was just a home baby. He just needed to get out, get out the house and be around more kids. So we took him to the first daycare, and I shit you not, he was only there for 2 days, just 2 days, and they already, hey, yeah, he's a liability. He's not eating. He's not this. He's not this. He's not this. We're gonna have to reduce his hours, or pretty much we gotta take him out. After 2 days. After 2 days. Before we even signed the name and signed my name on the paperwork and did all of the child care and all the other shit, we broke all this down to the director. Now, I'm not going to say the name of this daycare because I'm not going to put them on blast. It is what it is. I already did my Google review, and I'm going to leave it at that. But it was crazy to me that after 2 days, you was ready to deem my son a liability and dismiss him from your facility. So, me and my wife, we took him out and we put him into another daycare. Now, this daycare we was a little bit more familiar with because my wife's son, my stepson, my stepson went there, and there was a lady named Miss Wilson who took real good care of him, and she still check up on him to this day. And decided to take Zaire there. Once again, we broke down everything, told him everything up front, and it was smooth for like a month or two, and then the bullshit. Here you go again. Them saying, hey, we if he can't stop um, pretty much being aggressive and crying and things of that nature, we're gonna have to reduce his time. And once they start reducing time, then hey, it's not accommodating for us. So, it's time to go ahead and move on. It's time to go ahead and move on. But one thing I do think that daycare is that they recommended early intervention. They recommended it. We went through with it. Now, early intervention is another thing. I'm gonna get back to that because they didn't do what they were supposed to have did. They didn't come through the way they were supposed to have came through. It was only one person that came through from that whole thing when he was supposed to have a whole team, but only one person came through off of that team. But I'm gonna get back to that. So with that, we took him out of there. We had no choice because who the hell was going to be able to get him? Me and my wife, we both work. So, okay, we take him out. We try this next one. This is daycare number 3. And everything was going smooth. I'm talking about everything was going smooth for a few months. But then every day my wife go pick him up, my son is sitting in a high chair, like strapped down with a tablet in his face. And it wasn't sitting well with me. Like, I'm like, I get it, he's active, but we told y'all exactly what was going on up front. And on top of telling them what's going on up front, remember the other daycare put us through the early intervention, and I was going through that, and he had a couple of diagnoses through the early intervention, which this daycare was aware of. So with that being said, it's like if you knew that you wasn't equipped to be able to handle a child of this understanding, then I would rather you be honest with me than just take my money. I would rather you be honest. Well, we can't. We're not going to be able to accommodate you. To be honest, you might have to find another location that's going to be able to assist you the best way possible. And I would have been cool with that. But no, you took my son in. We was providing food for him because he don't eat everything. So he's a very picky eater. So we was providing the food. Come to find out y'all was giving the food out to pretty much passing the food around and then lying and saying, oh, he eats, we overfeed him. No, you don't. You can't tell me y'all he eat that much. But like I said, it is what it is. That started to become a problem because my son is nonverbal. And me personally, I understand that if you're in the process of cleaning and doing things like that and you don't want him coming in and messing stuff up, that's understandable, but you have multiple rooms. You could have put him in a whole nother room while you cleaned this room. You know, make it make sense. You could have made it make sense, but unfortunately it didn't make sense. They didn't make it make sense. So then I was being nice. On my off days, he would just stay with me so they can have like a little break or whatever the case may be. But then now it got to the point where it's like, oh, is there any way he can stay home tomorrow? Or any way y'all come pick him up early? No, here come the bullshit again. And I was like, I know he's not that, you know what I'm saying? He's not that bad. The problem is he's misunderstood. So now let's get to the early intervention. Hold up, before I get to that. So we took him out of there. We took him out of there because now it started to become a problem, just like the other daycares. Now we have him in another daycare. This is daycare number 4. This is daycare number 4. And so far, we're not having no issues with this daycare whatsoever. Whatsoever, we're not having no issues. Now they have concerns, but they already know what the concerns are. They already have all the paperwork. They know everything. They have actual teachers that dealt with kids of that level of understanding. So far, so good, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But going through the early intervention phases, let me tell y'all something. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with y'all. For the families who have kids of autism in those families, we have to understand, like, you got to have a level of patience. Like, if you don't have patience, you can lose your mind. You can legit lose your mind, because going to them IEP meetings, screenings, it'll take a big man like me to my knees. Like, you don't understand how many times I just, after talking to all these damn therapists and doctors and trying to just, oh man, trying my best not to get emotional. I'm sorry. I'm just dealing with that, man. It just breaks my heart, man. Hearing all this stuff, man. And be like, I don't know what to do. It's like, what do I do? I sit up, I watch all these YouTube videos and looking at all these kids that has autism, and I just be looking at my son like, damn, dude. Ah, man. I gotta figure it out, man. I gotta figure it out. Because you gotta be strong. Coming from them screenings and them IEP screenings and them IEP meetings, you just feel defeated. Because I felt defeated after each one. I've been through 4 of them. Been through 4. And I felt defeated after each one. And I'm just like, I don't know. Is this something that I really want to do? Like, I'm seeing kids of autism, I see a lot of them that's not really developing. I see a lot of them that's nonverbal, that's, they become some form of verbal, but they still don't adjust. And, I see a lot of people who have autistic kids that's up in that 18 to 30 years old, still at home. Some of them can't even wipe themselves. You still got to wipe them. You still got to change the sheets. And it's just like, man, it's like I already have zero energy in the tank. And I'm like, do I have more? Like, where can I get this energy from to be able to handle this? Like, where am I going to get it from? And it's just like, that's where it hurts me the most. That's why I love my son, overly love my son, and just hoping and praying that he's not on the extreme level of the autism spectrum. I'm just hoping that it's just more of a speech delay. Like, I just feel like once he becomes verbal, he'd be able to understand a little bit more. He'll be able to just, I don't want to say snap out of it, because you can't really snap out of something like that. But I don't know. And that's what the early intervention was supposed to be about. Like, they were supposed to have the speech therapist, the development therapist, the physical therapist, the um, couple other therapists, behavioral therapists. They all was supposed to, come out and, you know, interact with my son. And only one person was doing that, and her name is Tina. And I think her. If I really had some money, I would I would continue to pay her. But unfortunately, he aged out because we found out a little bit too late, and he aged out, and only one person was coming out, and her name was Tina, and I swear she is God sent. When I say God send, she is God send because my son wasn't really talking at all. He'll scream and yell, but words he stopped saying those a long time ago. Outside of a cuss word, he'll say shit. He loves saying shit because for some reason he always around when he hear me saying shit, especially dealing with them goddamn Chicago Bears. Like, ain't this just some stupid shit? I say it all the time, and here he goes, shit, shit. He say that a lot, but as far as like words, he wasn't doing none of that. Like, she was coming faithfully twice a week. Like, they were supposed to be going to the daycares where they could interact with him and see how he interacts with other kids and things like that. But these daycares didn't want them in there, which was crazy to me because they was recommended to us by a daycare. It's crazy. But it's just like she worked with my son. Like, when I say she worked with him, she worked with him. Like, he wasn't fucking with her like at all at first. Scream, yell, cry, run from her, all of that. He was not doing that with her at first. But he warmed up to her. She started getting him to know his colors a lot more. She started getting him to be more interactive. And she was the behavior therapist, and she was giving him speech therapy as well. And she wasn't supposed to. She was just supposed to be there for the behavior aspect. She was working with him with puzzles and all kinds of shit. And it was just like, if I had the money, I would still be paying her to come out and help my son because she's a damn good therapist. I'm talking about a damn good therapist. Like, for real, for real. She is a damn good therapist. And I'm very grateful that she came out faithfully. Now, a speech therapist came out like a month before he aged out, which was a complete waste. A complete waste. Because my son, he didn't know her, he didn't care, he didn't really care for her, and he aged out, and it is what it is. It was another lady that we was doing Zoom with, which me personally, Zoom is not a great way for therapy for a child of autism. But we tried it anyway, and of course, he would never sit still in the camera at all for her to really pay attention. So it was just like that was a complete waste. And then boom, here comes, hey, we have to do the diagnosis to see if he can qualify for school. And I'm sitting there, the physical therapists come out, they're playing and they're looking and they're checking him out, and it's just like, I'm thinking he's doing good because he's building the blocks like they saying he building them. He's doing this. He's to me, I'm seeing that he's doing all this stuff correctly, and I'm like, okay, he's normal. He just can't talk. And then boom, here come the reports. Yep, yeah. we're gonna we're gonna actually diagnose him and give him the autism label. And the things that I saw were actually on that scale of autism that I thought that was normal. And it was like, no, the way he flap his hands, the way he runs, the way he communicates, the way he writes, the way he builds, the way he's going to continuously need therapy. And I'm sitting here devastated. I'm like, whoa. I thought he did great. I thought this was normal. But it's like now that I see that what I think is actually like normal, a lot of these kids out here is doing the same thing my son is doing. A lot of these young kids, I go to these daycares, I see a lot of these kids with the same understanding with my son, and a lot of parents don't know. In dealing with my son, I really know that my oldest son, something's wrong with him. Now it's like I'm looking at him and I'm going to I won't say treat him different. I want to be able to understand him more. But my oldest son, I just think he lazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. His understanding don't be understanding, but he lazy, and I'm gonna get him right. He's lazy. But it's like going through stuff like this and doing research, and I came across this one story that every time I see it, I get emotional. Like I get emotional. And it's like, I don't understand how you can turn your back on your family all because of a diagnosis or something that you can't really handle. Like, I get it, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. But this story right here,
Okay, hi. You're here for initial appearance. You had a failure to appear for a petty theft. Your bond is currently set at $500.
There was an offer made to Ms. Bryant of an adjudication credit, cost investigation to OPD in the amount of $339.70, and there's a no return to target at 4650 Millennia Plaza Way.
She would like to accept the state's offer and answer a plea of no contest.
Okay, Miss Bryan. Did she swear in already? Can you raise?
Solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're going to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes. Oh, yes, Judge.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, I've been handed a plea form with your name on it. Is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, it is. I signed it just now.
Okay, did anyone force, threaten, or coerce you into signing the plea form?
No.
Okay, and so you understand by signing this, you'd be giving up your right to go to trial and to contest the charges in this case?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I have to tell you, if you're not a U.S. citizen, you could be deported based upon this plea. I tell everybody that. Are you aware of that?
Oh, but I am.
That's great.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and you're thinking clearly today? You understand what we're doing here?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. I'll find that you are alert and intelligent and represented by counsel. I'll accept your plea of no contest to the charge of petty theft. I'll sentence you to credit for time served. You have 1 day. I'm sorry, 50. You have 50 days time served. I'll adjudicate you guilty. You'll also have to pay a cost of investigation of $339.70 to Orlando Police Department. You're not to return to the target at 4650 Millennia Plaza Way. Okay? You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence in this case. The appeal must be in writing. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford one, one will be appointed for you.
And Your Honor, in her case, I would just ask that her court costs be reduced to civil judgment.
Okay, I'll reduce your court costs and fines to a civil judgment, okay?
Okay.
$339.70. She'll be released as discharged.
Man. That shit is heartbreaking, man. Because I tried my best to find so much research on her background, and it's just like, I couldn't find nothing. I couldn't find her name. I couldn't find nothing about her background. But my thing is, it's like, where's your people at? Did they turn their back on you? Like, what happened? Like, what is, how did you end up in this situation with the level of understanding that you have? How are you even out there stealing anyway? Well, in a position to steal where everything that I'm finding out now is that they qualify for SSI, where she could be having her own money. Unless somebody's stealing her money. She should never been in that situation to begin with. To have to steal anything. That's why that shit is heartbreaking to me, because it's like, my son is 3 years old. What can I expect in 15 more years when he's grown? What can I expect? Will I even be here in 15 years? Because we all know life is too short. I don't know how much time I have left on this earth. I would love to see my son, my last child, because I ain't having no more. I would love to see my son turn 18 years old and walk across that high school stage. But I don't know what the future is going to hold, and it fucking scares the life out of me, man. It scares me. That's why I have to get this off my chest, because it's like holding this shit in and holding it in and holding it in. It's making me think with rage. It's making me think through the eyes of the devil, and looking through the eyes of the devil is just telling me, hey, you don't need this, you better than this. Run, just go, just get in your car and just go. But I don't live my life through the eyes of the devil. My faith is in God, and God is going to give me the strength, the courage, and the energy. He's going to give it to me. Now that we know, because this is a new diagnosis, this is fresh. So now that I know what I'm dealing with, I know he's going to give me what I need, all the tools for me to be successful. But looking at videos like that is very discouraging. It's disheartening, and it's tragic. So just like I said earlier with the lady beforehand, I was going back and forth with her when I used the word suffering. It's like, damn, what is the definition of fucking suffering? You can't communicate the way we communicate. You can't tell me if somebody is abusing you. You can't tell me if somebody is stealing from you. You can't tell me when somebody is not treating you the way you're supposed to be treated. To me, that's suffering. That is trauma. Because if I find out that anybody is mistreating my son, it's gonna be a fucking problem. Y'all wanna see me turn into something that you've never seen before. And you talk about the Incredible Hulk, try times 10, because I don't play about my kids, man. I don't play about my kids. But it's like, what can we do, man? What can I do? I just have to continue doing my research. I have to continue doing my research. Have to continue to figure out what can I do as far as getting him into better schooling. Like right now, he's split. He goes to Foster Park for pre-K, where early intervention is sending therapists out to the school. From what they say, I haven't been really up to the school to check out, but I need to. Like I said, this new daycare, they're awesome. Like I said, they handle my son with care, but it's like he cries every time he walks into this daycare. And it's just like we have to keep constantly switching up his schedule. And it's like that's another form of trauma to him. It's like, okay, I was going here, and now you took me out of here, and I'm going here, and now you took me out of here, and now I'm going over here. I like this place, but now you took me out of this place. Now I'm going here for a few hours. Now I'm going here for a few hours, and it's just like I don't want to keep putting my son through these changes. But then now I'm researching about ABA schools, which they cost a lot of money. To be honest, it costs a lot. So now I'm looking into moving him to an ABA school, and it's all day, and he get his therapies all day, and I feel like that's a little bit better for him. I think that would be better for him. And this is a school that's equipped to be able to handle him on a full-time basis. Even though I love this new daycare, like they really work with him, but I think that the ABA school will be a lot more for his development. You know, you have to have a certain level of insurance, which, you know, of course, you know, it's not covered by Medicaid. All the ones that are covered by Medicaid is all the way up north somewhere. It's not feasible for me to get to. So I have to look into switching my health care to one that would be acceptable, and hope and pray to God that it's still not expensive, because the insurance itself is probably going to be expensive, and the school I'm gonna have to pay the copay. So depending on what the insurance that I go with and the copay, I don't know, man. I don't know. But like I said, God gives his strongest battles to his strongest warriors. And I live in the image of my Lord and Savior. So if he put this on my plate, he knows that I'm going to handle it. As long as he give me the strength that I need and the tools that I need, keep air in my lungs, wake me up every day, and keep me grounded, my son is going to be all right. He's going to be all right. Do he frustrate the shit out of me? Yes, he does. Do he frustrate his mother? Yes, he does. But that's my little dude. And we gonna rock it out, and we gonna get it together. And by all means, that situation in that video is not going to be my son as long as I have anything to do with it. That's not going to be my son. Because I've seen research where I've seen a lot of autistic kids get left at fire stations. A lot of autistic kids are killed. A lot of autistic kids are abandoned, given up to the state because people can't handle it. People cannot handle it. And it's sad. And it's very sad. And it's like in situations like that, it's like they should have like special assisted living for, grown adults with autism. They should have programs. Like, I don't know about all the programs. I'm starting to get into the programs that I can put my son in now. But that stuff like that shouldn't happen. Like, it should not happen. And to see that a judge think that a person of that level of understanding is competent to withstand a trial, it's crazy to me. Now, shout out to the lawyer. She did everything she could. She got all her fees waived. It was nothing she could do about the no contest, which she switched over to a guilty verdict and got her off. But it's like she did the best she could to make sure that she got up out of jail after spending 50 days. But for my son, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that that doesn't happen to mine. I don't care if I have to go broke on therapies. I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to do it to put my son in a situation where he needs to be in order for him to be able to succeed. And that's just facts. That's what I'm going to do. As long as I'm living, breathing on this earth, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that my son succeeds. And that's all for me from Song on Your Heart. So if anyone else, you see my story, you want to come forward, you want to tell your story without being judged, come on down to Top Prize Entertainment. That's what this is for. This is an open forum for you to be able to come in, tell your story without being judged. Like, subscribe, share to Top Prize ENT on all social media platforms. Please don't forget to comment because I want to hear from you. Your comments, your feedback is what I live for. Because you have a story, I have a story. Maybe you hear my story, you can help me out. You have your story, I hear your story. If something I've went through that I could probably help you out. I'm trying to build a community where we can have consistent help. Because I'm not 100% knowledgeable on a lot of things. You might have something that you can show me. I might have something you can show you. You might know a few people that can come in and show us how to do things. I might have a couple people I can bring in that can show us some things. Let's do this together. That's it. Let's do this together. And that's all we have here from Top Prize Entertainment. I thank you for joining in.
I made a move without a sound. If you never heard about me, then you finna know me now. And believe it's going down. And believe it's going down. I made a move without a sound. You see lyrics as my weapons. I'ma spit a couple rounds. I may never know what $1 million brings, but I keep waking up to these $1 million dreams.